Hi there. This video is a quick overview of how to play the f4c as of update Drone Age. To be honest, I don't really have a golden ticket playstyle for you to always win, but I do have a couple of suggestions that will hopefully improve your overall performance. This video is based on my experience and thoughts, so if you think I missed something or got something wrong, feel free to discuss it in the comments. First, let's take a look at loadouts. In my opinion, the f4c does not need all 4 Sparrow missiles. The radar isn't great at finding a lock, and these are AIM-7Ds, which means they take a couple seconds to start tracking after launch. These giant missiles are heavy, and the added weight hurts your plane's performance, so I would recommend only taking 2. The AIM-9E is a much lighter missile that doesn't have much of an effect on performance and is much more useful than the Model D Sparrow. 10 Gs isn't a lot of overload for a missile, but they are fast and will catch anyone not paying attention or stalled out every time. They are also useful to force a turn from a fleeing opponent and can be fired in rapid succession if you just need to make someone dead. No internal gun means your only option is a gun pod, and in my opinion you're making a mistake leaving it behind. A gun is an essential weapon in ARB, and you will quickly find yourself without kills relying solely on these weak air-to-air missiles. If you're looking for a change of pace and want to have some fun, I'm personally a fan of the triple gun pod setup, as you probably know if you saw my video. No, it's probably not the absolute best way to kit this jet, but it's a blast to hose down people in 20mm. As far as fuel goes, 20 minutes for a normal map and 30 minutes for a large map should serve you well. The J79 engine's afterburner is not too thirsty relative to many other engines at this tier, and keeping weight down in this plane can make a huge difference in performance. Now let's take a look at strengths and weaknesses. The f4c's biggest strength is probably its speed. You want to fly this thing as fast as you can, which is true of all jets, but even more true here. Once this plane gets into a low-speed turn fight, it really starts to lose its edge, and I guarantee you will be eating a missile from someone else nearby. Which brings us to its second strength, high-speed turn fights and vertical energy fights. The Phantom is great at not compressing. You can be supersonic and snap roll onto anything faster than most of your competitors. The J79 engines found in the f4c produce about 75,000 kilograms of thrust each, making this thing a vertical energy fight monster. Just be sure not to abuse your angle of attack too much, as this airframe does bleed lots of speed in high AOA maneuvers. A third strength of this plane is the gun. The Vulcan cannon is one of the best guns on any aircraft currently in game and will turn anything it touches into Swiss cheese. In this plane, you are the king of head-ons, with a caveat that we'll talk about later, and can delete nearly any ground target in your path as well. But the weaknesses of this jet are substantial, and it's really just one weakness: no flares. Battle rating 9.3 and up is sadly a high G all-aspect missile meta now, and at 10.0 you will be facing swarms of Su-25s that know you're flareless and will specifically pick you out of a team to feed an R60M to. Remember when I said you're the king of head-ons? Well, I lied, because if you try to head-on an Su-25, this will happen every time. The Su-25 is the shiny new toy in War Thunder right now and is being spammed out to hell. Not to mention the US Civil War that is still going on months after the last patch, so you have the potential to face both Su-25s and A-10s, which also carry in all aspects AIM-9L, and will do the exact same thing to your poor f4c. So what playstyle fits this jet best? Well, in my experience, I've found that a wide angle around the left side of the map, because this is AirRB and we only turn left, will give you enough distance from the all-aspect missile machine. Once in this position, you're behind the enemy and can start picking off the ones that are not paying attention to you. I've had luck climbing to around 20,000 feet to execute this strategy, starting from the highest altitude targets and working my way down, and I've also had success hugging the ground and popping up out of nowhere to deliver my presence. The ground strategy may pose more risk, as you have fewer options to escape if an Su-25 decides to turn around for you, but it's still doable. When hugging the ground, all of your targets will be above you as well, giving you a better chance at a radar lock if the situation calls for it. Another option, which is significantly less exciting, but if you don't care and just want to put in your grind for the next jet, the f4c is an outstanding bomb truck. With the setup I recommended earlier, you still have room to fit 12 750-pound bombs to the other hardpoints. 750-pounders are the best for base bombing in my experience because you can get the most out of your bomb load without dropping excess on an already dead base. A standard map has 4 bases, with each base requiring 8 750-pound bombs to be destroyed, so you could pick up a base and a half per run with these on board. If you absolutely hate your life and have devoted yourself to the bomb truck way of life, you can switch out your gun pod for 5 more 750-pound bombs, giving you a total of 17 bombs on board and the ability to take out 2 bases, but I really don't recommend it. If you are going the bomb route, hug the ground, and be extra sure to take the wide line. The enemy team is expecting a wave of mindless bombers coming for their bases and are eager to get the free kills. Another thing to note is that bombs release in sets of 2 by default, so when dropping on your base, click 4 times to drop the required 8 bombs. You are blessed with a bomb computer in this jet, making hitting your target a breeze. As far as dealing with R60Ms goes, this is why I can't recommend flying this plane right now. If you have access to it, you're obviously better off in a premium like the f4c or the AV8A, but I'd also say you're better off in a Tech Tree AV8C, F8U, or even the F105D. Generally speaking, if you're within 2.5 kilometers of an Su-25, you're just dead in this jet. It's hot, it's flareless, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. If you keep your speed and get fired on from a rear aspect, you're better off trying to outrun the R60 than dodge it, because you just won't dodge it. Try to turn 90 degrees and make slight adjustments with your elevator to make the missile overlead your trajectory, then reverse. It's important not to turn too much though, as you will start to also lose speed and will risk getting bonked. And that's pretty much it. Let me know your playstyle for the f4c in the comments. Otherwise, take it easy, and I'll see you around.